Hey there, and welcome to another League of Legends video. And I just stumbled on this. This is League's latest champion, probably announced a few hours earlier at the time of upload of this video. And today we are going to take a look at Sylas, the Unshackled, a Demacian champion as far as you know. Once he was a prisoner like you, locked away, blah blah blah. Not blah blah blah, lores of League are interesting, but the abilities are what we are actually here for. Starting with the passive. This is the passive. Basically, after the guy casts a spell, his next basic attack will do an area of effect hit, sort of like Rek'Sai, but it seems to have a bigger range because look at how far apart this minion is from this minion, and it still hits both the two minions and Jarvan. So pretty neat passive, nothing too complicated, and I like that. You will see how clean actually this champion is. His kit is not overloaded, but it's versatile, and it's not it doesn't have too much stuff, but it's still interesting to use. Next we have the Q Chain Lash. You can see that it is like a double skill shot, sort of like Zed and his Shadow, like if they are right next to each other and you use the Q, except it's with those chains, and it also slightly slows, and it also has that classic thing that Red likes to use, the delay and then another damage. I mean, it is a good interaction to add additional damage in team fights without making the champion uncounterable, since avoiding delayed stuff is generally pretty easy unless you're in some incredibly cluttered team fight. So another pretty cleanly designed ability, and I think that a lot of good design decisions have been made when creating this champion. And then we have Kingslayer, basically dash towards the champion that does damage and heals you. If they are on low health, it will do more damage. If you are on low health, it will heal you for more. Another ability that is not boringly simple, but it's not overwhelmingly complicated. And this seems to be the theme across the entire champion kit here. So if that's what you're after, then this might be the champion for you, and you should start saving the blue essence now. We also have the E, which is another dash, however it is independent, and it also gives you a small shield. At least here it seems small, I don't know what it scales with, maybe it can get pretty high. And then he can recast it to whip out the chains and stun an enemy and pull himself towards them. It's sort of similar to Camille E. It has a lot of differences in that it doesn't require a wall and it gives a shield, and the first dash is a lot slower, but I think this is the most similar thing to it. And now the ultimate doesn't need a comparison to what it's similar to, because it's basically every other ultimate in the game, I think. Well, maybe there might be a few exceptions, don't quote me on that, because some ultimates are pretty weird. For example, I wouldn't know how he could mimic a Queen ultimate, for example, but it generally works. He basically steals an ultimate and can then use it, and like this amplifies the team in this champion even more. The ability is pretty simple, you steal an ultimate and you use it. But in fact, since there are over 140 champions, I think at the time of the release of this guy, he might be the 141st or 2nd, something like that. That's a lot of ultimates that you could possibly steal, and therefore many different game scenarios and interesting stuff. So I think that this champion might be incredibly satisfying to use and play, because for example there are ultimates that I absolutely love, but I don't really like the champions that they are attached to. For example, Malzahar's ultimate, absolutely brutal. It literally suppression point and click range that also does a ton of damage, or at least it did before the nerfs. And however, Malzahar is otherwise a mage. He has those delayed spells, kill shots, voidlings, blah blah blah, and it's not fun for me, and I am not really good at that. However, with this guy I can just combine the kit of the champion with that ultimate instead, and maybe it's still going to work, maybe it won't, I don't know. And there are many other cool ultimates that you can steal, and many other interesting interactions you could maybe try out. Maybe there is some interesting interaction in a normal game. If both your team has a Darius and the enemy team has a Darius, maybe there's some interaction with the stacks, but we are getting too much off topic. Let's look at some more gameplay. So this is playing as Sylas, and yeah, let's have a look at this clip. And yeah, pretty clean execution, and we can clearly see that he has stolen Evelyn's ultimate. There's also a description here: lash out with merciless magical attacks, pulling those who would oppose you with stone and steel. And here there's the explanation of the combo. I guess this might be a pretty common combo, but we are going to talk about common combos probably later. And yeah, the powers of your foes go for a greater purpose, your own. And here we have some tips and tricks that Riot Games have provided for us. Crush your foes in combat by weaving in basic attacks after each spell cast for maximum damage. The perfect sequence includes a Petricide Burst, which is the passive. After every ability, leaving enemies bruised and broken, if not dead. Consider all your options when using others people ultimates. And also there's a delay after you hijack someone, you can't steal again their ultimate soon. This is the skin. Pretty much Riot style, like, yeah, a muscular guy on the throne. That seems to be a lot of the theme with Riot skins, not to blame them. And this is some other art related to the champion. So what do you think? Tell me in the comments. And what other videos do you want with these champions? Maybe I should try to pick him on PvE when they release him, even though it's going to be like really hard, because everyone likes to play new champions on the public beta server, as you probably know, and you have to dodge like 10 games and someone else will dodge 40 games until you manage to pick the champion, unless you have a pre-made, for, of course, and I might try to find that. But anyways, thanks for watching. Remember to leave a like if you enjoyed this video, or even if you just enjoyed the champion, like, leave a like, come on. I'm sorry for asking so much, but yeah. Bye.